needed to make a video this Sunday. It's been a few days since my son was in his fire and burned up his trailer. I'm happy to report that someone in town had big enough feet, size 13, that they could give him some shoes, so he is not shoeless at the moment. But I did talk to him today, and he was on the mend, but his nerves are crawling, over everything, naturally. He said that he even burned up his wallet. In fact, he's finding, more and more things missing that he wishes he still had. But anyway, I did, and some good things have happened that he'd been working on that came in. Progress is being made on his theater company. He's got a commitment for money, and so he can progress. He can keep working on that, and has got a promise of investment into the project. So he's got a lot to do and a good reason to get into good working order. He was telling me he was considering the possibility of going into rehab for about 30 days just to be able to talk to some people who can deal with people with very frazzled nerves, which is a result, and can help him to get back into good working order. So he's looking into that, the cost and what he can do, maybe doing that to help him get through this period. So I thought that was a very good idea, and I hope he'll be able to do it. I was just thinking, a lot of times,
I would have donated my 13 shoes, but
you don't have your 13 shoes.
I know 11 is the best I could do. But
yeah, when you run out of
if you
shoes.
could cut off some of his toes a little bit.
Oh yes, of course.
No, I mean on the shoe, not on his feet.
Oh dear, look, here's a half of a man. He's falling over there. I try to keep him all on the picture, but he insists sometimes on only being halfway there.
I'm always halfway there.
Yeah, halfway. But I was just thinking of, how hard this kind of problem is to deal with in the family and for the person. But I think it's important for us to get positive as soon as we can, because the main thing we want to do is not lose this person. I know there's always, I just don't even think, like young people have no idea how lethal even one bad binge can be. Either drugs, alcohol, and they can lose their lives without even, not even realizing how much danger they're putting themselves into. So I'm just thinking of how you always have to work hard to keep all your children alive and through some of the crisis and some of the things they do. And that is important, most important thing to me. And the most important thing that I wanted to say is, be positive. Not, enough negative has happened for him to deal with. And that he has to have he has to take the responsibility for her, because nobody else can be responsible for his trailer burning down. He was the only one in it. So
I told you it was.
It was a
very simple mistake. Okay.
Oh, very simple mistake.
Anybody can make it.
Yes, and. So, it's not that people aren't losing their belongings all over the place. We've had Irene come through and do a number on any number.
Say what?
Hurricane Irene.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My mother's name was Irene, so people are joking about.
I thought that's who you were talking about.
Another Irene coming through and just devastating the whole eastern
She
coast.
pretty much devastated your family too, you know.
Yeah, right. The power of this hurricane. So now we kind of had a hurricane in our own midst here, and that's what it feels like when someone is in a state where they can do harm to themselves. And they're going to be lucky if they escape every single time, not having it very costly. So, but anyway, I think the main thing to do is to let that be a lesson that, and you don't really have to rub it in or say anything negative about it, because it's bad enough. And that's the way I feel. I just feel like we have to pick ourselves up and go ahead and start working. I've been in communication with my son, and we're just trying to get to work again and working on all his plans. And I'm a playwright, he's a playwright, so naturally the thought of a theater company just gets me all excited, and I start thinking, well, there's this play and there's that play, and maybe I can write a new play. And, coming from that country where he's going to do the theater company. And he's done quite a number of productions up there already, so he's busy working on all these possibilities. He's going to have to recruit actors and actresses and, sort of form a nucleus of players so that he can do this. And I think it's a great place to do a theater company. It's kind of reminds me of Sedona, the scenery. It's just spectacular on all sides, and it's a tourist draw. This is it's at the top of the Escalante Staircase Monument, but Bryce Canyon is on the east, and then on the west, and to the east you go on through on the Bird Trail. You go over into that country over there, the Henry Mountains, the Canyon country over there, Capitol Reef Monument. It's just surrounded by all these tremendously spectacular scenic spots. And then it's got the history of the early cattleman and ranching community, which is still flourishing up there somewhat, and not like it was when I was growing up there and my father was a cattle rancher. It's declined since then, but
and now they have electricity in the
they have deteriorated. They have electricity now. It's not the primitive country that it used to be. But my son loves that country, and he's gone up there a lot. And he said last night he went to Salt Gulch, where I've written a lot about, where my dad had a ranch, and played music with some musicians that live over there that he's friends with and has been playing music with for quite the past few years. So he's getting his guitar. He saved his guitar, his Martin guitar, one of his most precious possessions. I don't know how he did it, if he threw it out or if it was already outside. And he saved his dog, which everybody's happy that baby didn't get scorched.
Well,
So
wait a second. I've only met this guy like once or twice.
yes.
How can you not save your shoes? I just don't get that.
It happened so fast.
He got a guitar on his foot.
It went.
I've got a guitar on my foot. I better take that.
In fact, I think he threw his guitar out. The dog was already outside, so.
Maybe his guitar was in his truck
But anyway,
to pick him up.
he wasn't able to hang on to his truck. That was probably another reason why.
I thought he had 2 trucks.
Well, he only got one now. He hadn't been able to pay.
Yes,
He
sir.
hadn't gotten. Well, there was a trigger. There's always a trigger, I think. Even sometimes they don't know. They don't sick. But he had gotten a big disappointment in a job that he was counting on quite heavily, and that is kind of what threw him into where he would risk so much. Threw him into a state of mind where he couldn't control his impulses to, medicate. And I know from dealing with people over many years who have the problem that if there's a trigger, if the trigger's big enough, that's what would usually set off a binge.
Well,
and you've got to contend with that from time to time.
That's true. I will agree with you 100%. Because I can remember years ago when I was in Apple Valley, California, and Roy Rogers used to have his restaurants. And in one of the restaurants, he had Trigger stuffed, and it was right in the restaurant. And Dale Evans was still alive at the time, and she said, Roy, don't even think about it.
And what has that got to do with this?
Well, it's a trigger. She
oh my God! Well, Trigger reminded him of Trigger.
Well, that's right. She said, Roy, don't even think about it. I ain't gonna get stuffed in here.
Well, I think it's time to, call a halt right there. When he brings in a story like that to demonstrate.
No, wait a minute. I just didn't.
But I thought you'd all be happy to know that we're recovering, we're going into recovery mode, and looking forward to some great things happening.
Well, how come you're not writing a play?
Oh, in my mind, I probably am.
Well, wait a minute. Aren't I one of the greatest case studies you've ever seen in your life? You said that many times.
No.
Just because I don't ride a horse.
No. Okay. I just thought you'd like to hear some good news after upsetting news. Bye-bye.